My dear brothers and sisters, today the Vicariate commemorates the dedication of all the churches of the Vicariate. And the 31st Sunday in ordinary time calls us to reflect, how do I love God? How do I worship Him? And how do I love God and my own neighbor? In the book of Deuteronomy, Moses calls the people of Israel and tells them, now you have to listen to the voice of God. You need to have the fear of God and follow all the commandments and all the precepts and all the statutes that I taught you. It's not only you, not only your children, even the children of your children should obey the commandments of God and follow the commandments. And he is also telling, Moses would tell the people, you should love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might and strength, and you should have only one God. And in today's gospel, we see a scribe coming and asking Jesus, Master, which commandment is the greatest of all other commandments? Now, who is a scribe? Scribe in that particular society was an important figure. The scribes, they formulate rules and regulations, and also they study the law of Moses and try to implement according to the commandments of God, mainly taught by Moses. And they would see that it is well maintained in the society. They also would interpret the laws, the commandments, and help the people to follow. So when these commandments, these traditions, these laws are broken, they go against the people who do that. That's why most of the time there was a lot of arguments between the scribes and Jesus. Even the Pharisees joined the scribes and they were arguing with Jesus. So this man comes and asks Jesus, what is the most important or the greatest commandments? And Jesus would quote the same words of Moses that we read in the book of Deuteronomy. Jesus is telling, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. When we love God, when we come to worship Him, we need to have this personal experience in us. First of all, we need to believe and accept that there is only one God. Today, sometimes we create gods. Not only the almighty, powerful God who created us, we keep on creating gods. Not only the gods and goddesses of other religions, even we create different gods to worship. Sometimes our own ideologies and our own Talents sometimes we consider as our God. We give more priority to them. Money has become a God. Wealth has become another God. And the entire world is showing different gods. This Sunday, this morning, is inviting us to focus our attention to say there is one God. In few minutes later, we are going to profess, I believe in one God. Therefore, I should believe that there is one God. And how should I love Him? Not simply worshipping, not simply performing some rituals. I should love God. I should love Him with my whole heart. Not God cannot be part of my life. Among many other things, I have to love Him with whole heart means that I give my heart completely to God. And with my whole soul. The whole soul means I have no place for any other God. Only one God of Israel who created me, who gave me the life, who gave me the breath, who is leading me. With all my mind, with all my strength, with all my power, I should worship God. So then when we gather as a community, we need to be in that mentality. Sometimes we become lethargy. We become fatigued. We become very lazy to worship God also. We are not worshipping sometimes with the strength and the power. Worship God. Moses told, Jesus told, and the Bible teaches us, the scripture tells us, worship your God, love your God with all your heart and mind, with all your strength and understanding. And Jesus did not stop with that. Loving God is not enough. Worshipping God is not enough. Following the commandments of God is not enough. Jesus adds another new commandment in today's gospel. He is telling, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's also an important commandment that God is giving us today. Read from the gospel and Jesus tells, love your neighbor as you love yourself. First of all, we need to love ourselves. We need to accept ourselves as we are. We need to believe that we are being created in the image and likeness of God. I bear the image of God, the likeness of God. God has created me and God has given me this life. I need to love myself. I cannot destroy my life. I cannot take my life for granted. I need to love myself. If I don't love myself, who is going to love me? If I don't appreciate myself, who is going to appreciate me? And in the same way, I need to love my neighbor. Husbands, love your wife as you love yourself. Wives, love your husbands as you love yourself. Parents, love your children as you love yourself. And children, love your parents as you love yourselves. We as Christians, let us love one another as we love ourselves. If I feel that I'm more important, if I consider myself as an important person, each and every person in the society are important. Sometimes we become selfish. We become more self-motivated. and I don't worry about others. I don't think about others. Let us love one another. So we are sometimes very good in worshiping God, praising God. We are very good in attending Mass, and we are very good in following all the sacraments. But when it comes to loving one another, don't go far. Look at your own family. Look at your own home. How the love is shared. Sometimes today, the love is being abused, and we try to make this love for our own personal gains. In a selfish way, I used to show that I love only those whom I want and the way I want. I try to control others. Therefore, the Lord is asking us. Jesus told there is no other great or important commandments other than loving God and loving our neighbor. Let us ask the Lord for that strength and the courage and the wisdom to worship God as the scripture tells us, and to love our neighbor as Jesus